Welcome everyone to the WPCA special meeting, Wednesday, January 27th. Unless there's any proposed changes to the posted agenda, we'll proceed accordingly. Okay, seeing none. The new business in front of us, there's A, B, C, A and B are linked, relates to consider and act on let me start over. To consider and act on the awarding of the East Trunk Sewer Wetland Crossing proposed RFP to D&B Engineers and Architects, as well as to approve the funding in the amount of $135,950. That we touched on briefly in last week's meeting. The determination to hire D&B was made by the department along with the purchasing department. They were kind enough to include Joe and myself in listening in on those presentations, but the scoring and the determination was made per town protocol. So we are simply being asked to, I guess, ratify and approve funding. Questions, comments, motions?
You want a motion on the floor, Mr. Chair?
Please, Mr. Vice Chairman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve proposal by DB Engineering to do the design work on the East Trunk in the amount not to exceed $135,950.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. Second by Nancy. All in favor?
Matt, you got to be fast.
Yeah. Matt, Nancy, Joe, Mark in favor. Next item on tonight's agenda is to consider and act on a proposal by Ty and Bond for additional environmental testing to install the gas line. This would approval is necessary for the department to go forward for funding to the other departments. Bill, do you want to, or Chris, you want to give us a quick update on this one?
You want me to do it, Chris?
Yeah, go ahead.
Initially, we believed that the gas line that runs in the treatment plant could be tapped off of and supply gas to the new generator that's being installed, that we received, grant money for from FEMA and HUD. So that's in the process of being placed in, and the gas company ran all their numbers. It came up that there wasn't enough volume of gas to supply both the generator and the rooftop heaters that the existing line now feeds. We did do testing from the main gate on One Rod Highway all the way to the generator, and everything there was clean, because that's where we thought they were just going to run a line for that generator. Come to find out, the gas company wants to change the entire line from One Rod Highway all the way around to the influent building, about 300 additional feet than they did in the original testing. So in order to do that, we wanted to go ahead and test that, so that we know that that's clean too, because the first 800 feet was clean.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks,
I do
Bill.
have some questions. Do you want to do the discussion
Yeah.
before we do anything else?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What I can't figure out in this proposal, this is Ty and Bond, and I know they're in doing the hardening project, but everything I read in this proposal talks about them subbing everything out. So what are they doing? What is Ty and Bond doing in this? Every place I read, every task, they're subbing out. Did I read it right?
Yes, they oversee the subs, which would be the core boring sub and the the lab results. So they'll do the analysis of everything. Every time there's a core bore taken for sampling, they're there overseeing it, looking at it, making sure it's packaged properly so that it's received to the lab without any kind of cross contamination or anything like that.
Okay, so they do have some, I'm sorry, they do have some responsibility in this. As far as we need them. The town can't do that. We don't have a town employee that could do what they are doing.
They're going to have what they call an LEP, licensed environmental
Okay,
professional on site, overseeing
Thank
all of that. I'm sure Matt's familiar with that.
Yeah, I mean, they're absorbing all the risk. So if anything should go wrong and we wanted to, we would sue Ty and Bond it would flow down to whoever their subs are, but they're absorbing all the risk as the licensed engineer on record. So
thanks, Matt, but that's going to be my second question. Go ahead, Nancy.
Well, just to feed into that, because I'm thinking down the line, not just for this, is this the right situation? Like, do we want a company like Ty and Bond who does that, assuming risk? Oh, that sounds right. Is it the nature of how the department is set up? Like, would it be better if this was in-house? And again, thinking more long-term, I understand for right now, this is the scenario we're in, and great that Ty and Bond's taking the risk, but is this the ideal situation regardless?
it's typical in the industry.
Yeah, I'm not sure as a town we have the expertise to do this.
Yeah, we don't have the capacity to do that. That's why we have to sub it out.
But
You have to be an LEP to
okay,
in order to do that. Yeah.
and so it's kind of industry standard. It's typical.
Yeah.
It's not that the town is
Yeah.
needing to hire that person. Okay.
Was,
Thank you.
No.
given the relationship and the millions that the town is spending, was the kind of the master agreement, the pricing with Ty and Bond, was that put out for bid? And are we enjoying those efficiencies, or is this all piecemeal?
I think it's all piggybacked on their agreement with the town through the hardening project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of these projects are centered around the hardening, so I believe that's the reason why we're using Ty and Bond on those projects. Can I just back up for 1 second, Joe? We can go back to your question. If you look at the proposal, task 2 breaks out the cost for Ty and Bond of $1,500. So that's their cost on the project. And if you look at task 2, it's their technical on-call consulting services. So, and it's broken down of what their tasks are. So, I just wanted to touch on that. So,
Yeah.
I just found it strange that they're just subbing everything. When I read it, everything.
yeah.
For 1,500, I don't think they're going to guarantee a lot, and I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Joe, please continue.
Okay. In the first paragraph of their proposal, Ty and Bond puts a disclaimer in that says, as directed by the town. But the legal part of me, Mark, picks this up and says, what do they write in the first paragraph? As directed by the town is going to limit the scope to PCBs. So that tells me that if they find anything other than PCBs, we got a big problem. Did everybody catch that in the first paragraph?
Well, I guess the question is, what are we required to test for?
Okay, let's go to the second paragraph then. Good question, Mark. We're required, based on what I'm reading, is DEP and a few other federal agencies has told the town, read the second paragraph, they've told the town that they better watch what they're testing. Otherwise, they're going to come back at us. So I'm concerned with the disclaimer in the first paragraph and the statement in the second paragraph that says you're not testing enough just by testing the PCBs in this proposal.
So Joe, are you referring to that second sentence on the background? EPA, DEP have indicated that additional sampling
Yes,
requirements.
that's what I'm referring to.
I mean, obviously, this is very open to interpretation. I'm taking that to just mean additional quantity parameters, but I could be wrong.
Okay, I'm still concerned with that, why they put that, they inserted as directed by the town in that first, followed by that. That's what's catching my eye.
I don't love the as directed by the town part, but if I mean, this isn't my area of expertise. If PCBs is the limit of the scope, and if that's all that EPA and CT Deep are asking for, I have no issues with that. I mean, a lot of times when you don't search for everything because you're not required to search.
Right, I agree with that, but because we've been bad boys in this town, we've been put on alert from
Right, of course.
that says, you better not put a shovel in the ground unless you know what's in that dirt.
Right.
So that's my concern with this whole proposal. It's not a lot of money in that regard, but.
Right. I certainly agree. We should be searching for whatever DEP and EPA are asking us to search for. And we should not be searching for anything beyond what they're asking. And so it shouldn't be an as directed by the town. It should be per EPA deep requirements where.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I would go back to Ty and Bond and ask them to clarify that they're doing everything that the regulatory agencies are asking for as opposed to what we are directing them to do.
Right.
Can we make that a caveat of whatever we need to decide on tonight?
Who's going doing the back and forth with Time Bond? Is that Chris or Bill or somebody else? Or Laura?
Laura's been mainly dealing with Time Bond.
Okay. I think Laura would grasp the importance of that. Let me ask you, the question I had is, if it comes back that remediation is necessary, the cost to relocate a gas pipe has just become exceptionally expensive. And is there a way to not do that?
We've asked the gas company. Kristen has sent an email to Laura to see if we had any feedback from the gas company. One of the things we were going to see if the gas company could is just the 800 feet that's clear right to the generators. Just run that line.
Yeah.
Just use that as a dedicated line for the generator.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have to. We'd still have the old line in place, and then we'd have a dedicated line just for the generator.
That sounds like a good idea.
Well, we're waiting to hear
Thought
back
was
from them.
that when we do the upgrade at the treatment plant, we would extend the gas line at that time and do the remainder of the testing. I think we're still waiting for a final answer from the gas company. So that's why we wanted to move forward with this in case we, if we can't use that avenue. So.
And we had that, like I said, that first 800 feet came back clean. And then we're going to continue down and around the old primary digester to the influent building. And in that corner is where pump station number 2 is going. And all of that area where that pump station is going came back clean also. So it may just mean that when they did the treatment plant, they brought a lot of clean fill in and, didn't do an environmental work before and put this on top of whatever the bad stuff was and basically capped it.
Yeah, I mean, my personal take is, especially in order to, if this is a time is of the essence type of thing, I have no issues with the fee. So as long as they can confirm that what DEEP is looking for is limited to PCB soil sampling and analysis, I would be okay approving this myself. Obviously, whatever everybody else wants too, but obviously, if they're just only doing PCBs because we asked them to do PCBs, that's a whole different story because then we're assuming the risk.
Excellent point, Matt.
So Chris, what you just said, they could leave the existing line in place to the influent building, right? And we'd address that when we do the $50 million plant upgrade at that point?
Correct.
Yeah, and when we're out of the penalty box.
Well, we've asked that of the gas company. We hope they can do that. If they can do that, we won't need this. But if they can't, and they said no, we want to run the whole line. We need this done. And again, we're kind of under the gun here because of the grant to get the generator. We've already asked for, I think, 2 extensions.
Yeah. Well, we could ask the gas company if they want to participate in the remediation expense.
But Bill, haven't we already used up the grant? If you're coming to us for additional funds, we've used up the grant.
There's still about, I believe, almost $22,000 left of the grant money.
So this fee for tie and bond plus 22, I mean, why wouldn't we use that 22 to negate some of this cost? You've lost me. I'm sorry.
I think the 22,000 was just left in case because Holzner had any overages on the placement of the generator or taking the old generator out.
Okay. So we don't need this. So wouldn't we apply that 22 to this if it's available?
Bill, I think hang on. I think you're confusing that with the microgrid.
Okay, maybe that's my fault, Joe. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right, so there's nothing left in the generator?
There's nothing on it. We never had a grant for the generator, I don't think. Did we, Chris?
no.
Okay.
We did have a grant for it, yeah, but I believe we've expedited everything on it.
Yeah, okay. So we're not in any danger of losing grant money because we've used it all, right?
Yes, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got the 2 projects mixed up. But yeah, that whole generator project was all grant. That was all grant along with the Mill River generator was all grant money.
Okay.
Right.
So it sounds like you won't need this money if you go back to the gas company and they say we can go from One Rod Highway use the existing gas line that's there. Right?
Yeah, that would be ideal. Then Bill doesn't have to go to the other boards and talk about environmental issues. Which,
We will, let me just clarify that. We will need the 35,000 that we approved at the meeting for the installation of the gas line. That's going to.
Yeah, that's going to the generator, right?
To the generator.
We
So
wouldn't need-
actually, that is proposed, the cost of that is proposed all the way from the road to the influent building. So that cost might actually change a little bit as well.
Here we go down.
So in theory, it should go down, right? If they give us the approval to go from the road to the generator, which is, 400 feet as opposed to another 800 feet.
Okay.
So.
so it's it sounds like it's a contingent motion with a caveat. Yeah, I only know one guy who could pull that off.
Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
I need to listen to one more from Joe before I'll
Let's. Okay, I think I'd like to make a motion.
God bless you, Joe.
Do you guys, I just want you to know that the happiest thing I do in politics is sitting on these meetings. I just need you to know that.
Don't we
Okay.
just have a great time here?
I love every second of it and I mean
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we're creative.
We'll save a few bucks here. Okay, I'd like to make a motion that contingent upon the gas company approving current pipe between One Rod Highway and the affluent building, which would negate requiring tie and bond to do any work. And further, if that's not a valid option where we have to move forward and put additional pipe between the additional gas pipe between the generator and the influent building, we need something from somebody to tell me that the scope is, it's okay to limit the scope of the PCBs as versus any other contaminants that may be in the soil. If we need to limit the scope of testing to just PCBs as specified in the tie and bond proposal as versus other contaminants as may be deemed by DEP or other federal agencies. I would like to go forward. If those contingencies are met, I will go forward and approve the amendment of this proposal. And I don't know what the amount is. I don't have it in front of me. And go crazy, change it.
Now, I know there's a motion on, is that the motion? Is that a?
Yes, that's the motion. Believe it or
Okay,
not.
I'll second it, but I just wanted to say, is it cleaner if we kind of do it as bullets, like if, and then, I mean, the language is, it's fine. It seems clumsy, but.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to.
I mean, it was
reread in the
poetry as
minutes.
always, Joe, but.
I'm going to have to reread it in the minutes and correct it. But I know what we're trying to do here. The gas company has first option. If they say we can just move it leave it at the street, it'll work.
Yeah. So in the event the
We're going to
gas
turn
company,
this proposal down. Yeah, we can do it that way.
okay, so the components are a requirement of the gas company to do the 800 feet.
Right.
The contingency approval is the modification of the language reflecting what is required by DEEP.
Yeah, as directed by the regulatory agencies, EPA and CTD.
Okay.
Should it say, as listed in tie and bonds, January 26, 2021 proposal?
And then subject to the above, the WPCA to approve funding in the amount of $18,400.
I got a cleaner one in terms of One Rod Highway to Influent Building is. So is.
And did I hear somebody say 800 feet? In tie and bonds, it says 300 feet.
Yeah, I didn't say anything in feet. I just said from One Rod Highway to the
Okay.
Influent
Yep.
Building. But Mark had adding, that's where the 800 came from.
Okay.
Tie and bonds report is the additional 300 feet from the generator to the building.
Okay, I got it. Yep.
They've already
Okay.
tested from
500 feet, right.
Yeah, from 100.
Got it.
Bill, while Joe works on that, is there any incremental expense of the gas company actually installing the line? Or is that on them?
No, that's the $35,000.
Gotcha.
That's the installation of the gas line. The 18.4 is the tie and bond.
So the 35 is
Environmental
kind of 35 is kind of worst case scenario that they have to do the full 800.
Correct.
Said another way. Gotcha.
Okay. 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 Let's vote on amending the first one. I'm not sure. Procedurally, Nancy, can I amend my own
No,
amendment? We have to vote on it
no, I
and vote it
think,
down.
I think
First.
because there is an amendment on the floor, we have to
Right.
vote on that and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah. So relative to the motion in front of us, all in favor? All opposed?
Why? Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna redo it. It's just
Unanimous.
easier.
Yeah.
Strike
unanimous.
that one.
We're striking it, so we just
Okay.
turn it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion
Please.
on this situation. If the gas company determines the line from One Rod Highway to the influent building is satisfactory to support the need, I would propose this is turned down. If the line needs to be replaced as determined by the gas company, Ty and Bond's work needs to be directed by EPA and DEEP standards for this motion to be accepted, for this proposal to be accepted.
Do you want to put in an amount?
Accepted in the amount of $18,400, up to $18,400.
Okay. Yeah, I like how you did
That's a
that.
little cleaner.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Okay,
Anthony, Matt, Joe, Mark.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So Chris, the first thing we got to find out is if the gas company says it's good from the Rod Highway to the affluent building, we don't have to do anything.
Right.
We're done. We tell Ty and Bond, thank you, but we're done.
No,
If it's not,
no.
then we've got to find out what DEEP and EPA needs as their standard. Or just ask them why they had in their contract by the town.
How about you?
That's what's really hanging me up.
It's just that one thing. It wouldn't be more than that though, right? It would just be, is it in there because they think we require that? Is that the question?
I'm assuming that that's just standard language they use because we're the client, but it needs to be verified, and they should be saying as directed by the regulatory agencies as opposed to by the town. So-
Right.
But then we should go back to Laura and say, Laura, are we covered? Why are you just asking them for PCBs? Why not everything?
Well, that's the thing. It's what is required. We don't necessarily want to put the onus on the town, right? Is to Matt's
Exactly.
point.
That is
So,
correct.
We want to put the onus on the licensed environmental professional that we're hiring. That's the reason why we're hiring. So, I mean, Joe, to your original question of why are we paying Ty and Bond $6,300? That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
if the testing is more comprehensive, I would imagine that 18,400 number is not going to hold.
I would agree with that. If they have to test for additional parameters, that number is probably going to go up. So.
but by the way, if that's a regulatory thing per DEEP or whatever federal agency, given our dirty little secret, not a secret, we should make sure that that's all transparent and doing what we need to do. So even if it means having to come back and say that amount. So I think that's going to be an important piece.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
My only question is with Joe's proposal is if we have to go from One Rod Highway to the influent building, that's when we will need the Ty and Bond additional work. If we go from One Rod Highway just to the generator, that's where we won't need the additional work.
I thought they were already doing it from One Rod Highway. How does the affluent building get its gas?
There's an existing line right now.
That's the line I'm talking about.
Yeah, that would
There's
stay.
that line. Chris?
I'm sorry? I didn't hear
He
you.
said that
I
would
was
stay. That
assuming-
stays, that line. That
Yeah,
line
the gas
stays.
company's got to tell us what the current currently that it's working fine the way it works.
It is currently working, right, Bill? I mean, we have no issue with gas pressure or anything, right?
Yeah, there's no issue right now. The only issue will be when the gas generator is put online, the new generator for the admin building.
Which is when we're going to upgrade the plant.
No,
No.
No, that's going in right now.
I'm-
The new
I'm
generator is
really
going in
confused
right now.
okay. We received a grant a couple years ago to purchase 2 generators, one at the Mill River Pump Station and one at the treatment plant to replace the 600 kW at the administration building. And the reason they went to the gas was they wanted to be, like an island mode, so we wouldn't be reliant on bringing diesel fuel back and forth in case of a major storm event. So when they did that, the assumption was there was enough pressure gas in the line, that the existing line. Once the gas company came out and they did the calculations, they saw that it wasn't.
Right.
So then they said they were going to run a new line. So they were going to run a new line right to the generator.
Right.
Well, then Laura talked to them. They said, no, we don't want to run just that line. If we're going to do it, we want to replace the entire line that runs all the way over to the influent building, which is an additional 300 feet.
Right. But
So we didn't know that right away until we got the gas company's proposal. So what we did was we just did the testing up to the generator. We thought they were just going to bring in a new line to the generator. Then when they showed us the proposal, said, no, we want to go all the way to the influent building.
okay, but right now the line comes down one Rod Highway. The new line will run to the generator, but it's still the old line still runs to the influent building, doesn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
So if they say that old line going to the influent building is satisfactory, pressure-wise and every-wise, we've got gas going to the generator, gas going to the influent building, we're good, right? And that's what I'm trying to do in this motion.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're trying to get from the gas company. But
Right.
the thing we've gotten from the gas company right now is they want to run a whole new line.
But that's, yeah, I want to buy a cabinet too, but
That's the $35,000 that we approved of at our meeting last week.
right.
That was for the brand new line.
Correct.
Okay. But so now we're still negotiating with the gas company in terms of just running to the generator versus running to the influent building.
Yes, Laura
Right.
contacted them and asked them.
Right. So if we don't have to run the new line to the influent building, we're not approving this. If we do have to run it to the influent building, we are approving this as long as PCBs are the limit of DEEP's requirements. So,
Right.
okay. Did the motion properly convey that? Bill and Chris? Or did you guys have issues with how we worded it? Because now I don't remember the exact wording.
I just think that with the way Joe's wording was that no matter which way, we were still going to go from One Rod Highway to the influent building.
Yeah, if the gas company says their lines can handle it, yes, that's exactly right. Not for they're going to take the new stuff and put it to the generator, the new line. That we've not even in the discussion here. That's going to that either happened or it's going to happen.
But only
Done.
one direction possibly.
Only one direction.
I mean, one line. We don't need there's a new line already in. So that's where
Yeah,
I'm,
back to the generator. My understanding is we have a line to the generator, a new line, or if we haven't, we've approved enough money to get it there. The gas needed for the influent building would use the old line from One Rod Highway directly in. That's what we're asking the gas company. Why can't we do that?
Why can't we?
Line that, yeah, let me just clarify something, just so I just want to make sure everybody understands. The line that's there now is the smaller line, and I don't believe it has enough pressure to pressurize the generator.
Right.
That line is going to stay existing if
Right.
the gas company deems that the effluent building can use the same pressure. We
Right.
still need a new line coming from the main gate to the generator,
Right.
which is an upsized line. I don't know the exact specification, but It's an upsized line that's going to be dedicated with high pressure, specifically for the generator, and they were going to run for future use at the influent building. So I don't know if that clarifies that any more for everybody, but.
Yeah, I agree with what Chris just said. That's hopefully the way we worded the motion. Bill is the one that's got to shake his head.
I just thought that it sounded more like we were approving the line to the influent building.
No, we're not approving the line to the, we're using the old line.
Okay.
Right. What we thought when we came into this meeting was, yes, we were going to test the soil from the generator, new line into the influent building, but we're saying no, if we could still use the old line. That's what hopefully the motion is saying.
Guys, I will commit next time a situation that's as complex as this comes up, we will have a draft motion
Yes.
coming in. That is my commitment to those of you who have shared your Wednesday evening with them.
So when are we supposed to find out whether or not, which plan is acceptable with the gas company? The one new line to the generator, one new line to the influent chamber?
Laura has sent that email. I'm not sure when we'll get a response from the gas company.
Okay.
Okay, but this motion allows you to go forward to the
Either way, yeah.
to the other departments, which is a more macro issue that we need to resolve, which is why we need to go to other parts of the town to approve items that are certainly well within our budgetary confines.
Yes. I believe, that'll let us go to try to get on the agenda for the Board of Selectmen meeting for Monday. And then that'll roll over right till Tuesday for the Board of Finance.
Is Board of Selectmen this coming?
Yeah, it's the second, I believe.
I mean, unfortunately, these I think boards are going to think because you're going to them for approval, it warrants great discussion. This is something that we're paying for. We have,
Right.
I don't know, what, $8 million or so in cash. We have significant bonding capacity. And so why we're going to, Mother May I, $18,400 is an issue that I think rubs a few of us the wrong way, but that's not going to get resolved between now and Monday.
And yeah, Monday is our meeting. And then we skip.
Joe, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, just to Nancy, as long as the Board of Selectmen know that our motion is contingent on a few different things and we've approved the money with
Contingent on, right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, Bill or Chris, will you be at the meeting
I'll be there.
Monday? Okay.
Yes.
Because while I completely understand what we're talking about, I don't know that I could explain it in language that would not make me sound like
I couldn't.
a big dummy.
Nancy, to you, it's pretty simple. If the gas company says the old
Right.
line running from the street to the building is good, we don't need the money.
Right. Bottom line. And that I get, but it would just be great to not have to be the one to.
I think if I called in to that meeting, and I would be happy to talk about it if necessary, I can I don't think that the new system allows people to make comments, right, Chris? I can't make comments.
I think that they are accepting them now, but
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be necessary.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Don't
I thought we
move.
had-
Oh, wait, don't we have one more thing?
Yeah, I thought we did.
I hope. I don't think.
Do we have one more thing on the agenda? I've got it.
No.
I'm looking, I'm pulling up.
Proud of me. I printed it out this week.
D&B. Didn't we have to do something with D&B?
We did.
We approved
The
that.
first thing,
And then there were two others.
2 D&Bs.
Oh, two
A
D&B.
and B were combined, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Can I just, 1 second before we do that, just so.
It's too
for
late, Bill.
clarification. Sorry to keep everybody, but I did meet with Tom Bremer this afternoon and went over all of these and
Yeah.
discussed it with him, and he wanted to, he has the same concerns that we all do, once we put a shovel in the ground at the treatment plant, it seems it all starts costing money and things like that nature. So
Yeah.
he also said there's a very full agenda coming up on this Monday's first selectman meeting. He's going to try to put us on as much as he can. He asked which one would be the most important one. And I thought that this one with the gas company would be the most important one.
Oh, come on.
But I'm just saying, he said,
Yeah.
he said he'll try to get everything on, but he said it is full. And he said the way, he's not sure how the meetings, he may push it to another
I gotta
Monday.
tell you, a number of us spent a lot of time getting those meetings set in December for those RFP proposals.
Do you want me to
And-
just reach out to him and encourage him to please put all the WPCA items on the agenda?
God
He
bless
just-
you, Nancy. There's only 2, and they should take less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you guys hear me? I don't know. I lost my audio.
yeah, we can hear you,
Yep,
Chris.
we can hear you.
All right.
But he just wanted to let everybody be aware of that. And then-
I mean, there's 2 items. It takes 10 minutes max. We've been working hard to get them passed. Right, so,
And then I did mention about what Joe had spoken to at the last meeting about the microgrid project, where it's just not a WPCA project. It's more of a townwide project. So if there's any more funding needed, we may be looking to the town.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah,
Thanks.
okay.
But I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed about that meeting.
Well, thank you. All right, so there was a motion from Joe to adjourn, and I saw Matt's hand go up to second. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you all for your time this
Good
evening.
night, everyone.
Good
Stay
night, everybody.
safe.
Good night.
Careful, stay safe.
All right.
Yep.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yep. Take care.